In western Tanzania, the Jane Goodall Institute works with more than 50 villages near key chimpanzee habitats in the Gombe National Park, Masito and Ugala. VOA's Paul Ndiho spoke with the director of its ecosystem program, Emmanuel Mtiti, about the institute's work in helping local communities protect their environment.
Our programs in Western Tanzania are located along the Lake Tanganyika. You know, that's the second deepest lake in the world. And with a lot of fish, more than 200 species of fish, and holds about 17% of world fresh water in the world. And that's where the famous Gombe National Park is located. As you can remember, Jane came to Tanzania in 1960 and started chimpanzee research in that area. Then, as she was doing the research, she found out that there was a lot of degradation going around the Gombe National Park. But then it wasn't a national park, it was just a forest reserve. So she fought hard and cooperated with the Tanzania government to make it the national park. But later, there was no proper management of the land surrounding the national park. So with rapid degradation of the land, she thought about starting a program that could help the local communities reforestate that area. And that project was known as Takare. We call it now Take Care of the Environment, Wildlife and People. At least 5 years later, we found out that we cannot do conservation without involving the communities. And by involving the communities, it's about addressing their priority needs. Because when we started the program, we thought like it's easy. You just educate people, plant trees, and you provide the seedlings, so people plant trees. But that proved not to be the case. When we went to the people, conservation, yes, but we have some other problems. We have our priority problems, and there were health problems, water problems, and educational problems, and access to capital.
How is the Institute maybe helping people to empower people in terms of education? How are you providing some healthcare?
We are providing family planning services, actually by facilitating the government projects to be able to educate people and by involving volunteers from their own communities. So we have volunteers that are educated and they go around and educate people on not on family planning, it's reproductive health, the microcredit scheme where they start their own savings and then we top up that money to speed up the process. And then we help them with farming, sustainable farming techniques. Because the way they do the slash and burn agriculture, so they go into a virgin forest, they cut the trees, farm, they really get good harvest for the first and second year, but because of the surface runoff, all the fertility is taken away, they go for another piece of forest again. So we educate them in sustainable farming practices.
How big is that problem of environmental degradation in that part of Tanzania?
Huge problem. It's huge problem. I mean, with all this shifting cultivation, the forests are gone, a lot of flooding and siltation into the lake, and they've lost the fertility of the land, so that whatever they cultivate now, they don't harvest much. You see, so it all goes into a poverty cycle. Yeah, degradation is a huge problem. And for us, as Jane Goodall Institute, what is more important was the fragmentation of the chimpanzee habitat. So we've lost quite a lot of chimpanzees now.
The whole world is concerned about climate change, and you being an environmentalist, somebody who is into conserving the environment, how big is that? Is it a real threat like in that part of Tanzania?
Climate change for us is real. The rain pattern has changed. Of course, we still get the same rain, the same amount of rain, but the pattern has changed. You get longer dry period, and then when rain comes, you get heavy rains, torrential rains that wash up everything, and you end up having the floods. So it's all chaos.
That's VOA's Paul Ndiho speaking with Emmanuel Mtiti of the Jane Goodall Institute in Tanzania.